Broken English. How do you look at it? "Look at that guy, he's speaking broken English, ha ha ha," said one of my colleagues one day. "Oh," I responded, "the guy is trying." "Don't be mean, my friend. I really don't see that funny," I added. It took my colleague by surprise. He did not expect that coming. His funny and joyous face suddenly turned into a puzzled, ugly one. We then went on and settled our disagreement when he accepted that he shouldn't have looked at the weakness in the other guy the way he did. This happened about a decade ago, but it came to my mind when I started seeing some videos on the internet elaborately done to make fun at someone who had spoken about KAPUTAS and aircraft. Of course, the person who was speaking about the KAPUTAS appeared not to have even the ability of a village third grader in speaking the language. That's not the point for us, however. It's the attitude of those commenting on it that is a sad thing to watch. Yes, you could say it was funny watching the guy stammering in English, only for the simple reason that he had shown on many occasions that he finds it difficult to speak fluently in Sinhala, implying tacitly that English had almost become his mother tongue after living abroad for so long. A pretense that many people do, thinking that it's stylish and effective to do so. But think of this. Making fun of him is one thing. What about the unintended discouragement those videos may impose on those millions in Sri Lanka, children, youth and adults who are struggling to learn to speak English well? Do you think that a child or a youth who finds it tough to express himself correctly in English will fearlessly speak the language in the future if he or she has seen those videos? Or will he back off, fearing that he'll be laughed at? Or someone, maybe a friend, might make another fun video about him if he makes a mistake? How many millions of Sri Lankan children and adults are finding it tough to learn to speak this international language properly for no fault of theirs? How many millions would love to learn to speak it like a native English speaker if they could have the opportunity in learning it that way? What will they feel about themselves when they see those videos? Well, it's a free country, still I should say, and anyone can make any video they like. Let's leave it at that. What I would like to bring to your attention in this video is about the attitude of some Sri Lankans about speaking broken English. We have seen that is the habit of many in Sri Lanka to refer to persons who speak English using wrong grammar, bad pronunciation, unusual intonation, and speaking with no respect to punctuation as speakers of broken English, the term being used in a very disparaging and derogative fashion. That's where the problem is. Generally, such comments are aimed at those not so fortunate people who do not have the resources to have the luxury of getting an English education for the simple reason that their parents are not affluent enough to provide them that resource. In the videos I mentioned, however, it's not aimed at those poor folk. It's a different target, but still it's sad to watch them. Should it be like that? Ask yourselves that question. Do those people who dare to laugh at someone who makes an error speaking English, a language that's not his own, laugh at an Englishman speaking Sinhala, making tons of gaffes and mispronouncing 9 out of 10 words? Or do they think that it's chic to do so and would try to mimic the Englishman and speak their own mother tongue, deliberately giving it a funny twist? Ask yourself if you fall into that category. The thing to remember is that it's a low thing to make fun of someone who makes a gaffe in speaking a language that's not his own, either because he doesn't know or due to a slip of the tongue. You must be proud that he is trying. An eminent professor once said that broken English is a language of its own and has to be respected. He said that it serves the very basic purpose of a language, expressing one's ideas to others. Ask yourselves how many English words you use in midst of sentences when you speak in Sinhala. It's accepted as a normal thing and no one will laugh at you in Sri Lanka for doing so. Then ask yourselves what many people's reaction would be if someone speaks English putting Sinhala words in the midst of sentences. It will be a disaster for the guy who does it. Double standards? Yeah, double standards. Trying to ridicule someone, be that person an ordinary citizen or someone in very high echelons, speaking about KAPUTAS hitting aircraft is not something to be proud of. By the same token, when those holding the highest of positions in the country try to belittle a village English teacher, someone who had just meager opportunities to learn English in a remote village environment, by challenging her English-speaking ability in public, is also something to be very ashamed of. Why don't they do the same thing when their kith and kin struggle with the good old KAPUTAS and speaking Sinhala with a self-imposed stammer? It appears that many consider their inability to speak their mother tongue fluently is something to be proud of. Really? Unfortunately, as for speaking English, this is the attitude many Sri Lankans have. Yes, many Sri Lankans. From a young person from Piliandala who has just obtained an ordinary pass at O-level, to those with doctorates living abroad in places like Sheffield, London, New York and Los Angeles. It's a cultural trait we have acquired, a trait that had never been looked down upon by those who happen to speak the language well. What is to be ashamed of is not that one could not master the language well with the scant opportunities offered by one of the remotest villages in Sri Lanka. The lack of preparedness of those who would have had aspirations of becoming leaders of a nation to learn an international language properly while growing up with the luxury of attending the best of schools in Sri Lanka and having had opportunities to learn it living in native English-speaking environments for years and still struggling to say something about KAPUTAS in English, being unable to form a simple sentence properly while pretending to stammer when speaking his mother tongue is definitely something to be ashamed of. Let me tell you that the teacher in the remote village, however, got her idea across with the little English she knew. But I don't know if the person speaking about KAPUTAS got his idea across. We believe that when any person speaks a foreign language in broken fashion, it's something to be appreciated, not laughed at. In most cases, it shows that the person is trying to learn a new language, which is something that's always good. Such persons need to be encouraged to keep on speaking, broken it may be, until they achieve a good command of the language at some date in the future. So, our friends, if you speak broken English, never feel ashamed of it. Keep on speaking. Just remember this golden rule. When speaking a new language, you may make mistakes, but do not make the same mistake 2 times. Keep speaking while following that golden rule, and you will be on your way to reaching that point when your English is immaculate. The important thing is to find out where you make your mistakes: grammar, pronunciation, intonation, and different usages of the language, and correct them. Trust us, someday you'll be there. Thank you for watching.